Are joined this morning by Detective James Gluckman. He is the head of the Harrisburg Area FOP. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. When you think about something on this grand scale and you see how many people are gathered at Giant Center, I mean, it gives me chills just thinking about it.
Me too. I have had goosebumps on and off all day. I got to work and I saw the motorcycles going out to, be a part of the procession, and the gut in my stomach was there. Like, we all want to go and pay respects and honor the man who made this sacrifice, and we all know that any day it could be any one of us, and that's why you see such an outpouring, because there's no profession like it. These men and women in law enforcement will be going out and doing this later today, and are doing it right now, even as we celebrate him.
Yeah, and as you said, there is a special bond, this brother and sisterhood that you have, even if you don't personally know him. This just touches so many people.
Absolutely. We all go out there every day and serve our communities, and we all know that it's possible. We don't think about it every day. We focus on getting through the moment, getting home to our families and our loved ones, but whenever we lose one, we think, what if?
This was a 40-year veteran of the force. He worked in this community for 40 years, and he was 1 month shy of his retirement. It's like you can't even find the right words to describe this loss.
Absolutely. I mean, even coming here today, struggling to put these emotions into words. It's difficult. It's nearly impossible. And I just feel like there's nothing I can say that would do it justice. But I know the men and women that are there and that are doing this with me, they have the same feelings. Being there and showing the support for him and the families and the Lebanon County community, that's what we do. Words don't need to be said, but the officers that you see there today, I mean, it says it all.
I don't know if you've ever experienced something like this personally within your own force, but when something like this happens, how do you as a force come together and move forward?
We keep moving. We talk about it, which is something that needs to be done. Reinforce, taking time to navigate situations. Take advantage of your fellow brothers and sisters. When someone's struggling, be there for them. Look to officers who have more experience. Just be the brotherhood that we are. And part of that is reaching out and offering hands to those who we know are suffering more than we are. Our hearts go out to the families, the loved ones, the Lebanon community, and we just want to know that we're here for them. And today, always.
Was there a different mood at work this week? Was there a different feeling?
Absolutely. We talk about it. We have officers that have gone out there. I've reached out to people I know in the Lebanon County law enforcement community, and there's always somber mood when you think about this. But you have to keep your mind clear when we keep going and doing this. That's part of the healing process, the grieving process, to make sure that they know we're here for them and that we're still going to do what we do.
You said something interesting right there, that you are here for them in the community. We've been talking about this a lot, but just when, as a police officer, and you see the images that we've been showing of the procession, and you see the people lining the streets to pay their respect, as a police officer, how does that make you feel when you see the community showing that sign of respect and support for you?
It's a great feeling. It's just unfortunate that an event like this is what it takes to see that support. Unfortunately, these events gain a lot of attention, but you got to focus on the positive, and that there is an incredible amount of support in all the communities we serve. Good days and bad. There's just wonderful people out there that we serve, and that's why we do this.
And you were saying you can't really take a break. I mean, you have to go back to work. You have to serve. that's continuing at this hour in Lebanon. I would imagine that there's a mutual aid set up with other departments that are covering the city for these officers today. Typically, that's how these kind of things work.
Absolutely. Other members of the law enforcement community are covering the areas. That way, you know, the members of Lebanon County agencies can be present, and the communities are still taken care of. And as soon as this is over with, the officers that are there paying their respects are going to go right back to doing what they do every day.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so surreal to think of it. And you mentioned this earlier. You know, some of these people who are out there right now about to go to work today.
They're on duty today. You know, they're leaving whatever their calls were, going, paying their respects, and going right back to it. And then there's officers that are serving the communities right now, so the officers can attend. That's the brotherhood. You know, that's the unity. That's the support, and that's what helps us get through days like today.
You've given us an inside look, and you've given us a glimpse into what your community is feeling today. So we thank you so much.
Thank you
for bringing that to us.
You know what? Let's take a little bit of time again to just go over who Lieutenant William Lebo was, a 40-year veteran.